What's going on, folks, and welcome to another episode of the 10% Better podcast. Today, you will see this as a visual experience that you've got, which is great. Usually these are audio, but if you are subscribed to YouTube, you will see this at a visual standpoint. Of course, I will be your host today, and I have a very special guest, Andy Aird from FSB, from Concierge Vehicle Solutions, but we'll hear a wee bit about Andy as well. Today, of course, the key portion and the key subject that we've got is businesses and coronavirus and lockdown and all the madness that's going on in the world. It is the 2nd of April just now, and the world has kind of been turned on its head, so we'll get to hear Andy's views on that. But first and foremost, Andy, thanks, of course, for coming on and doing this as well. I appreciate that.
Thank you for inviting me along. When I got the invitation yesterday morning, being the 1st of April, I thought it was sinister background to it, but here we are on the 2nd of April, safe and sound.
And especially with me being always the last minute Larry with things, you can imagine it being the 1st of April anyway.
I'm glad it's the 2nd of April. We got through the 1st without any great drama.
You're right. Even if you can give us a wee bit of kind of intro on yourself, Andy, what it is that you kind of currently do with the different hats, of course, that you wear.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I'm in business as a business person. Retired 6 years ago and decided that I was bored very quickly. Started Concierge Vehicle Solutions because it's the industry I've been in for now 40 years, using my expertise just to facilitate the best offers and deals for people sourcing and funding vehicles for them, and also doing some fleet cost analysis for small businesses. So that's Concierge Vehicle Solutions. My other hat, as you call it, is as chair for Scotland of the Federation of Small Business, the FSB. Got involved with that, joined that very soon after I opened my business because I felt that it just gave us a lot of things that I was missing, having been in a big business with a cast of thousands. I had lawyers, HR people, health and safety people, administrators, accountants, you name it. When you wake up for the first morning and you've started your own business and you look in the mirror, where is all that help going to come from? And I have to say the FSB was a great source of that because their online systems give you all sorts of access to legal, HR, health and safety that you definitely don't want to try and invent yourself, because running a business, you're very busy, you want to be productively running the business. So my two hats, Andrew, is what I do.
Yeah, I mean, even from that side of things as well, you're completely right when you're talking about starting a business. You're the Janny, you're the accountant, you're the marketer, you're the guy doing the closing with the sales, you're the guy generating the leads. Yeah, 100%. I mean, people don't really understand when you start a small business exactly what you're doing, and it is. I've learned over the years that you have to be really diplomatic because everybody's jobs are hard, and I imagine that everybody employed or self-employed or running their own business feel as though they've got the hardest job. I mean, I know when I speak to my other half, I feel as though I've got the hardest job, but she said she's got the hardest job. So I've learned over the years that you do have to be diplomatic with it, but you're 100% right, is that you are doing a million things and a million different things. And from my standpoint, I spoke to you obviously about it. I just joined the FSB the other week there. Obviously with all the kind of madness that's going on in the economy just now, and it is a very good resource of information, knowledge, being able to touch base with different professionals in different sectors that you don't have the expertise of, especially as a small business owner, because there is a lot of small business owners who would, number one, just be overwhelmed with everything that they have to handle and everything they have to deal with. And
the government love introducing legislation that is almost like a business prevention department.
Yeah.
And the FSB, their policy unit, which is more important really than their services, they fight on behalf of small business to minimise the ludicrous things sometimes that government and local politicians introduce that they don't, because they've not really been in business, they don't really understand understand what impact it has on small businesses. So FSB there to fight that corner, and that's how they were originally set up. We're set up as a policy company to fight the government on tax, and they'll be doing it ever since.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing as well, is that I never really understood the power and the benefit of lobbying against governments and actually having a voice against these certain things. This is something I always, for years, Andy, for me, I always looked at it and said, oh, nothing's ever going to change regardless of what gets said or what gets done. But when you hear it from the horse's mouth, from the Chancellor last week saying, I'd like to thank the Federation of Small Businesses for basically working with us to get this package together and so on and so forth, then you sit back and go, all right, wait a minute here, there's something in this, you know. So that was a big eye-opener for me especially.
It probably will be for a lot of folk, but at the same time, and we are a member-led organisation. We're a not-for-profit organisation. Anything that the FSB generates in the way of membership or any other income, such as the insurance services, all goes back into that lobbying process and in creating opportunities for members to get together and get the best deal on whatever services they need as a small business. Because you know yourself, you've got to set up all these things, and if there's a ready reckoner there that says these people have already negotiated great deals for a lot of things on your behalf, then it's a no-brainer just to plug into it and use it. So as an organisation, I found them very, very useful and very worthwhile. I wouldn't have done it for, dare I say, the chamber. The Chamber of Commerce, because they're a business. They make money. They distribute that money to their board of directors. We don't. We have a board of directors, but they get a salary. That's it. And it's all clear and fully disclosed so that you know what it is in the accounts.
And they serve UK and Ireland, is that right? Is it the full of the UK and Ireland? Or?
We don't do Southern Ireland, we do Northern Ireland. We've got England and Wales are a kind of combined entity. They've got a policy unit which is driven through Westminster. And then we have what's called the devolved nations. Wales has also got a devolved nation because they've got their own parliament. Anywhere that's got a parliament will have a policy unit paid for and dedicated through the membership fees of the Federation of Small Business to fight the corner of that particular nation because it's got different guidelines, it's got a different parliament, it's got different people to influence. So we've got the Glasgow office, which is full of people who are well experienced in lobbying government and with great contacts. And the guy at the top, Colin, he looks after Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland. He's the head of devolved nations, he's called. A very, very accommodating guy, very clever when it comes to dealing with politicians.
And you'd have a few grey hairs with dealing with that kind of territory as well over the years, I would imagine.
It's a bit like to walk. You can't indemnify them, but you have to hold their feet to the fire on behalf of small businesses in the most logical way possible. One of the biggest influencers we've got is because we can go to members on a quarterly basis and get a measure of what the business community for small businesses feels like. Because we do a quarterly research return, and it's good for everybody fills that in and gets back to them, because the more numbers there is on that, the more attention people pay to it. So the government are always asking us, how's your members feeling? And fortunately, we tell them and give them verbatim information, not anecdotal, which they see in a proper report, properly numbered and researched, and those surveys are very important to the policy arm of the Federation.
And I mean, they're getting the exact viewpoint from small businesses, because as you said before, a very valid point is that a lot of the people in power have never had a business, a small business or anything. So, I mean, what they see on theory definitely isn't how it then works out practically, you know, kind of in the day-to-day.
The worst thing is they're influenced by the civil administration, you know, the civil servants, the senior ones, and neither have they been in business in the main.
Right, okay. So it's a blind leading the blind, basically.
It's a double whammy of people who are almost like, we don't understand it, and we're quite frightened of it. When you see an organisation that has some integrity in it and doesn't do anything for money.
Yeah.
Because nobody in our business, the federation does anything for money. Everybody's either a volunteer or paid on the board in a very proper manner, so that nobody's going to gain financially out of it.
Yeah.
Everybody gains financially out of it. And I have to say, the recent lobbying that they did for the small business support that came out, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect. And we haven't rested on our laurels and patted ourselves in the back and said, what a fantastic company or business we are, or organisation where we've done this.
Yeah.
Went back to them and said, look, it's full of loopholes. Timing's out.
Yeah.
You need to rubble the banks up to get on with this money, free it up for businesses. It's not happening quick enough.
Yeah.
The banks have interpreted your intentions to suit themselves, so you need to go back and reissue some guidelines that says, that's not what we meant, this is what we meant.
Yeah.
It needs to be much clearer. I have to say, I was very impressed with the Chancellor's efforts to put together that package. Was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And all the headline numbers sounded fantastic. But it's like anything, the devil is in the detail.
Yeah.
And what the Federation, in the first just over 7 days of that, we took 4,000 calls to the helpline.
Jesus.
And I know that each of the area district development managers in each area who work alongside me, they were fielding 25 to 30 calls a day from small businesses saying, what does this mean to me? What does it mean? None of it was particularly clear. And now we've got to the back end of it and some people are starting to get paid the money. There's still areas where, unfortunately, there's jobs worth, what I call them, sitting as administrators in each of these governmental departments, whether it's local government or national government.
Yeah.
Looking at what the Chancellor's done, and as anything as complicated as this should be, there's lots and lots of, not red tape, but certainly bureaucracy involved in it.
Yeah.
And that interpretation from the local delivery element of the support, unless that's actually a willingness to complete it and get it done, and it's not you haven't ticked that box or you've put 4 there instead of 7.
Yeah.
And I've already come across probably half a dozen where I've got letters going to local MSPs or MPs or local officials at the council saying, do you realise that somebody in your organisation is preventing the actual, how do you put it, the whole ethos of this support programme actually getting to the right end person, because, again, the red tape is picked in.
Yeah.
So we've got all that to face.
And
it won't stop.
And it's a time where there has to be some leniency on that, especially if they're trying to move it forward quickly. And there's a massive time constraint, because obviously there's a backlash for that as well, How are you personally handling the lockdown? How are you handling kind of being in the house and having restricted times and stuff like that?
Well, I've been in my own house now for a couple of years on my own or with my dog, because my family are all grown up and away.
Yep.
So I'm kind of comfortable in my own skin. It hasn't affected me mentally that way. And I've got the dog, and he's a big Labrador. And as you know, I had my hip replaced in November, so I'm having to get him out. And he's like a stopwatch for me. He comes out and looks at you and goes, time we were out again. It doesn't matter whether it's sunny or it's raining. When he needs to go, he needs to go. So that element has always been good. I tell you what, I've spoken to my relatives in Canada through WhatsApp.
Yeah. Video call. Yeah.
My sister-in-law, she's stuck in Australia.
Jesus.
She can't get back. A good friend of mine just managed to get back a couple of days ago from New Zealand. Hopefully my sister-in-law will get home on Saturday, but she'll get home to the UK.
Yeah.
And my brother, who she's married to obviously, he's in Spain. They moved to Spain 3 years ago.
Right.
He's in Spain with his wee dog. He's on lockdown and he's on his own. So I've spent time talking to him, my other brother, my family, my kids, because I'm not interacting with any of them in any way, shape, or form. I'm
Yeah.
on here now, so I'm locked down solo, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm only happy that I'm healthy
Yeah.
and I'm reasonably well fed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cooking. I've made chilies. I've made spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
I've made. I love salmon stir fries. I'm doing all that. I'm cooking stuff fresh for myself, whereas I probably wouldn't have the time to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I can see a lot of benefit coming from that. The community around about me here is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some phenomenal neighbours. Everybody helps each other.
Yeah.
We people who are out walking dogs and just comparing notes, make sure that anybody in the community who perhaps not as fortunate as us is looked after. So that's another thing.
And
What about yourself? How you been getting on?
all right. My missus says I'm handling it way worse than she is, but I mean, my days are structured. So 7 a.m. we'll wake up regardless. We'll go out. We'll do a 5K run. We'll come back in and do a home workout. We're going to need new laminate flooring, I think, when this is all said and done in the living room, because the amount of jumping about and burpees
and
Jesus, aye, they'll be screwed. And then kind of from 9 till 5, I've got a kind of working schedule that I'll do. So, but I broke it up this week, where Monday I was doing specifically video content and audio content. Tuesday I was then doing written content and some personal protection stuff. Wednesday I was doing business protection and business growth stuff. And then Thursday today I'm doing basically like catch ups with everybody and catching up with anything from Monday to Wednesday. So it's kind of the same as I would have on a day to day normally, because I've usually got a timetable that I run by. So I know that there's exactly. So there's 6 or 7 things, say on average every day, that I know I need to get through. And work through the to-do list for any other things that pop up. So I'm still getting all that done. And then at 5 o'clock, I go out just a wee walk, just a wee half-hour walk, and then having my dinner and chilling out and stuff. But the only thing that I'm kind of struggling with, I would say, is the Groundhog Day syndrome, where it's the same thing. You know, I feel like Bill Murray. I'm waking up and I'm going, I know exactly what I'm going to do today, and there's going to be no surprises.
Running a business, as we both do, and having ran businesses for 40 years, it is the diversity of the day that actually keeps you motivated, because you never know from one day to the next what's going to hit you. And you obviously thrive on that, because it's all very well being planned. It's fantastic. You've got a very good, disciplined work ethic. We all know that. And it's excellent when you've got that, because you will get more done in a day than most people, because you don't let yourself fall off any of the spots till they're finished. That's unusual, let me tell you. In any kind of management role, having that kind of discipline is definitely not the norm. However, it's the diversity that keeps you entertained.
100%.
And sometimes that planned thing that happens, and if it does happen every day as you see it going to happen, inevitably, not boredom, but certainly a kind of, it's a malaise. Come into it, and you need to be aware of that. You and Claire need to say, right, well, what we're actually going to do is do something totally different from our run tomorrow. Let's go run backwards. Something that just takes you out of your comfort zone, because getting into that comfort zone, when this thing breaks, you need to be agile, you need to be available, you need to, your diversity will be phenomenal. Because there's so many things that you need to catch up on and get back right from where it is. It'll be a long haul when we get it back on track. But not insurmountable, not by any manner of means. I can see a lot of good positives coming out of this. Though it's a horrendous situation.
I mean, even being in it, some of the kind of positives that I'm taking for it is that I've spoke about this before, and it's about being battle tested. And what I kind of mean by that is that having to go through something to then make you stronger on the other side. So, for instance, anybody that I look to, because all businesses, this isn't anything that they've done that has caused the downturn in their business.
Not at all.
You know, it is one of the only times, or one of the very few times, where you can have a great thriving business, you can be doing really, really well, and for no fault of your own, your business can go, it can go from 100% income to 15% income. And what it's really going to do, I think, for a lot of people is, and this is why, from a kind of personal point of view, I'm kind of a bit excited about it as well, is that it's forcing you to become battle tested. It's forcing you to have to adapt, have to change, have to think of other ways and other outlooks and other things that you can potentially do within your business, which is something that we've had to do and take pretty much everything online. But then on the other side of that, it also gives me the kind of cushioned ability to understand what it would be like to lose a lot of business without really losing a lot of business. So I then am looking at it and saying, right, okay, well, I'm going to have probably less fear than I did beforehand about setting up another business or opening up other facilities or doing this or doing that, because I've then been at the top end and now I've been at the bottom end, and I've understood the process of how that's happened. But then I just won't have the same fear as if I was always at the top end and going, no, but that's very risky. This could happen, that could happen. When you're back down at the bottom end, you can say, well, I already know how to climb the ladder again, and I've been at the top of the ladder. So why not take another rung, you know?
Ask Jeff Bezos, ask most of the very successful Tesla, Elon Musk, these guys, they've all failed at some point.
Yeah.
And it's a cathartic process if you look on it positively as you're doing, and you adopt the old Nietzsche saying, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And that's true. This is a very character building situation. There'll be the fight or flight syndrome never goes away.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the right help, most of the businesses that are worthwhile, do that obviously advisedly, and will recover from this and use the experience to minimise their cost base, be as lean as possible coming out the other end, have done a lot of social networking or building a proper worked on the business strategy that they can then see how to implement that and the tactics they then take on board when it comes back. Albeit nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody's going to be able to say, and you could ask me and I could ask you, say, when you think business is going to come out like at the other end of this? Nobody really knows. All you need to know is control what you can control, be as fit as you possibly can, have a strategy, because the old strategy wasn't wrong, what you were doing was right, because you'd obviously been successful. It just depends on the time frame it's going to take you to get back up that ladder again. And you might need a plan B. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, I think, just in my interaction with you, your plan A, you make sure happens. Then this happens to you, and you go, wait a minute.
That wasn't the plan.
My plan. Where's my plan B? But you don't plan for disaster. You can. You can have I remember the year 2000, these 3 years as, the business I was running in 1997, 98, 99 was turning over just short of £500 million. There's 500 more people in it. And we had to have a business continuity plan for the Millennium Bug. Right?
Remember that.
We had so many managers and different resources involved in that. We had to look at alternative places to go and operate from in case the worst things in the world happened to your premises and you couldn't occupy them. With all those continuity plans all worked out to the nth degree, sitting waiting for the 1st of January 2000.
And then nothing happened.
So the amount of effort that went in that 3-year period, all because, see, you're working for a PLC, there's no question about it, you had to be submitting an updated plan every quarter to a central committee who were looking at a business continuity, what if syndrome for that. Now, if we'd still had those business continuity plans sitting there, then some businesses would have found this less traumatic. It's almost like in a millennium bug.
Yeah.
It's called COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But nobody's had that foresight to get into this situation.
Yeah.
NHS, the government, because they're all trying to catch up with the necessities of life and death as we're facing it.
Yeah, and this, of course, will be an eye-opener for governments in the future as well, I think, you know.
They don't get anal about it, because, again, if they get anal about it, what will happen is we go back into the business prevention department, and risk takers and entrepreneurs have their hands tied.
Yeah.
That should never happen, because we as a country need that dedication.
Yeah.
We need to have entrepreneurs and small business people actively looking at new ideas. So I'm pretty sure when you come out the other end of this, I'll look forward to seeing the plans.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're already been constructed and 95% ready, as you can imagine. In terms, exactly. In terms of your kind of business, how have you changed things over the past kind of few weeks? Have you just been doing a lot more stuff remote, obviously, and things of that nature?
Just got on to all my clients that I've got on the go at the moment, explain the circumstances. The dealerships are mostly closed.
Yeah.
Manufacturers have cut back in production in a lot of places because staff weren't coming, so they had to shut down factories. Well, all of the clients that I've got either waiting in cars or have to find, not cars, vehicles, because there's a few commercials in it as well.
Yeah.
And they're just like me, sitting
just in the waiting game.
For a thing to kick in.
Yeah.
Can't really do an awful lot on that side. I have got a couple of clients that I look at cost erosion for with small fleets, and that's okay, but that's only a reinforcement of that they're doing the right things and they've not let anything slip, because I haven't taken on anybody new in that regard in the last 3 months, and it usually takes me 3 months to put a plan together for those people and then say, well, this is what we need to do, implement that, and then they make those savings ongoing, because as long as they stay within the discipline, then it's logic, they'll make savings, you know. But the only thing I've been doing is completing my year-end accounts, which is not my bag, because I'm not an administrator at heart. But I've been completing make sure all the receipts are digitised and all the spreadsheets are in order, the bank statements are all there, and I usually use them. It's all done in Excel, so I'm not into a package. I don't need to. I don't do enough business to justify spending money on Sage or one of the other online packages.
And that is one of the time-consuming things as a business owner when you're doing stuff like that. So I mean, this is the ideal time to basically get your head in that and say, right, okay, I'm up to date, I'm good, you know.
If anything, I'm getting it more automated, so that in a disciplined way. I've downloaded a couple of apps that I can use on my phone that saves me a lot of grief at later times trying to copy things or scan things. So I'm more able to do that. But if you'd asked me, this is year end in September last year, obviously, which needs to be in for June. So my account is looking for this month to complete. So I'm going back through stuff that finished off last September. From the October before. So you can imagine, being of a senior age, I'm not going to. Fortunately, I keep a phenomenal diary. I use Outlook, and everything I do is in that diary. Every move I make,
which is exactly what you need.
My memory's not perfect.
And in terms of your opinion on the support that the UK government have gave businesses, I'll briefly give you my opinion first as a business owner, and then I'll get your side as well. I think that the Chancellor has done a great job for the time constraint that he's been in, and he's only been in the job for a few months as far as I'm aware.
Absolutely.
And he's been hit with one of the, you're older than me. Can you remember anything like this economy-wise ever happening? Bar 2008,
back
maybe?
in 1979, when I first started in business, we had the winter discontent, we had the electricity going off, we had 3-day week, we had a whole lot of real downtime, depression. It was very, very difficult. The pound had bottomed. They had a thing called the gold exchange then, and it was all abandoned.
Yeah.
It obviously led to the end of the Labour government at the time.
Yeah.
And the next thing along was the miners' strikes and all that sort of stuff. So I have to say, not equivalent from a health point of view, but from a disruption point of view, pretty close.
And no lockdown in that thing?
No, you didn't need a lockdown because it wasn't health oriented.
Yeah.
It was all about. You know, if you think about it just now, if your power was going off for 4 hours every day, inevitably because they weren't producing enough coal to fire the power stations to drive the electricity demand, and it could be off for a whole day.
Yeah.
It could be off for 8 hours out of the day because nobody ever knew. It was all about, they were all scratching around trying to get manage the situation, and it was very fluid. So it wasn't a matter of staying in. It was a matter of, where's the candles? Make sure you've got candles and matches. Make sure if you've got a coal fire, you get coal fire. Because the gas didn't work either. There was all sorts of things. Everything was electric driven, so it was a big issue at the time. However, this is much more serious and it's life and death.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. The Chancellor had very little chance. No experience, but I think that's been a good thing because he's not had any precedents to worry about. He's not had any. He's not looked to the hierarchy within the civil service and said, "Oh, what do we do?"
Yeah.
He and his team have gone and said, "No, what can we do? What do we need to do?"
Yeah.
And that's very refreshing, I have to say.
And I mean, even from a support standpoint, I think what they've done for businesses has been pretty good. So, for instance, the couple of things they've got, obviously, they've got the grants available, they've got the business loans available, they've done the furloughed for certain employees and things of that nature. I mean, it's, as they said as well, it's one of the biggest and most unprecedented packages of business support that they've ever done, and ever had to do to be put in the position. So I couldn't really look at it negatively in any way. When I looked at it, I went, you know something? These guys are doing, from what I can see as an outsider's point of view, these guys are doing pretty much everything that they can do in terms of trying to keep the economy going. The only thing, obviously, is, like you say, there was a lot of stuff that was a bit unclear for business owners, for employees, and on the back end of that is the time scale of certain things. So, for instance, I know, obviously, when you look at the population and the amount of people that are employed and business owners and so on, there is a huge amount of volume that they're having to get through for that. But when you look at people who are self-employed, they're looking at June time, I think, before they're able to get anything through. And then you look at people who are employed. It's been very vague in terms of when they would get even their 80%. Even speaking to our guys, it's a case of a portal's going to look at opening up after the tax year end, and you'll potentially get your 80% at the end of the month, maybe. What information can you give, Andrew? Well, that's kind of as much as I can give. Oh, that seems pretty vague. Yeah, that's because it is.
Join the club.
Exactly. And even speaking to legal professionals, accountants, and so on, when I'm speaking to them, it's the exact same. You know. What's your kind of views on the full situation?
Package in its intention is excellent. A couple of warning shots coming up. People who've been avoiding the national insurance scheme by paying themselves under the limit on their salary and then taking dividends.
They'll be screwed, yeah.
That's because it's genuinely unfair when you think about it. You know, the people who take PAYE and the people who have the opportunity, and the risk factor is there, people need some kind of reward for the risk factor of being in a business. So, but there needs to be a redress of that situation, and I think the newness of the Chancellor When somebody's opened his eyes to that, he's went, you what? And he's thought, that's not going to continue. So put that in his speech to make sure everybody was aware of it. And then he dropped the bomb which said, if you're a director of a limited company, don't, you can furlough yourself and get 80% of your tiny PAYE.
12 grand a year or whatever it would be.
It's less than that because it's only about 8.5, 9 if you want to stay under the national insurance limit. You can take 12.5 grand a year as part of up to your
paying your national insurance.
Your maximum tax level is. But your national insurance limit, which a lot of people don't get to, you stay underneath it.
Right, okay.
So well, they do, and they take the dividends. Even though you're saying to yourself, well, that's not national minimum wage. They don't know how to get away with it. Their accountants maybe put them on short time hours, who knows. All I can say is, it's not particularly fair. It will change. So watch this space when the Chancellor gets feet back under him and know what is going. But the devil is always in the detail in my experience with these things. And as it's proving, the banks, if I had been in a bank, and I don't mean Mr. Goodwin by any chance, but if I was sitting in a bank just now, I would see this 3 months as a massive opportunity to improve my PR, because banks are in the grubber, worst state, capital, and only I could see that. So if they wanted good PR, and they wanted to lend some money to people, but you know there's some income coming back to pay it off, and you want to get some new clients because nobody else is doing it. Everybody else is bad news and saying, don't want to do it like that, you want to be doing it like this. And if they just took it in their head and said, right, let's come up with a 3-6 month short-term loan program that it's not an overdraft, because obviously today or yesterday the overdrafts percentages went berserk. It's a loan for a fixed length of time, and you can either pay it back as a lump sum at a minimum interest rate. Just think about the PR you would get, the new clients you would get. But I haven't heard any bank doing that. And I thought, surely somebody's got the initiative at a bank of an entrepreneur that turns around and says, what an opportunity we're sitting on here. Because everybody else will be still debating it in about 6 weeks' time. And we could have been in there with a social media offer or a social driven offer that says, come to us, because there's a lot of online banks that should be able to do it without an awful lot of risk or, how can you put it, infrastructure they need to put in place to do it. Anyway, so the banks are there, they should be helping them, not. Although there's a lot of anecdotal evidence saying from the people who are probably the biggest moaners when you get into this situation, in my experience, that the loudest shouters in the initial period are the biggest moaners, and it's inevitable, it's always happened. And what you find is the people who are actually getting on with it and getting something done about it and fighting the good fight where there is blockages, and instead of going, you'll never believe, sticking to the game plan, being disciplined about it, and just working their way through every door that seems to be shutting before them and opening it again, they're the people that will succeed. The moaners are the people that will get in the paper saying, this is not happening, that's not happening. The people who have got it happening won't, unfortunately, be singing that praise. The FSB, on the other hand, what we say to them is, let's share the successes where either we've helped or the member or the small business have done it for themselves, and share that success, because this programme deserves a lot of positivity. More than the majority of FSB members will benefit from either the small business bonus scheme, the furloughing of employees, training them going forward, or if they're a sole trader, which a lot of ours are, or small business partnerships, they will definitely benefit from what the Chancellor's put in place. A lot of people would. I'm one of them. I don't take a salary at the company. I only ever take dividends when I can afford to do it. It's a young company. It's only 5 years old. It's not a massive company, as you know. it's my own efforts. So in reality, I couldn't plan to do that on a long-term basis. But I'm fortunate. Good jobs in the past, pension, investment. So I am, and I know how lucky I am when I speak to people on a daily basis who are in dire straits.
Yeah.
And I try and give them as much advice as I can. So good programme. The devil's in the detail. It's going to take us at least another fortnight to iron out some of these, poor bits in it. But at the same time, I think they'll listen.
Yeah.
I think this isn't the last bit of legislation that's going to be put in place to help small businesses stay alive, retain people, make sure that they can plan for the future, feel as if they've got a future. So I think there'll be other legislation, and we're working on it, and the FSB is working on it just now. The time and thing, June, can be helped. HMRC are a law unto themselves. They have negotiated that time scale saying, and the Chancellor's not wise enough to come around and say to them any different because he's not got that experience. They're going to come around and say to him, impossible. Yeah. The earliest they can do it is August. He'll then have negotiated them back to June. Yeah. And he's done well if he's got them to June. Because I think when you think about it, it's only really 3 months, and for the HMRC to accomplish what needs to be done in 3 months, it'll be a miracle. I still think the devil is in it. Yeah. And I wouldn't bet on people getting their cheque on the 30th of June or transferred into their accounts.
Me neither. And that's why.
But the programme's good. It just needs follow through, and it needs people like us and to make sure we can't fight every fight, and some fights are not justifiable anyway. Yeah. But there are big issues here in the administration and the delivery of this support package. And as you said earlier, it is the time. If we don't get it done in a reasonable time scale, it'll be a double slap in the face to some people because their business may just go.
Oh yeah.
And the money might turn up a week later, but too late to really do anything for them. Yeah. And that's what some people are.
Especially if there's businesses that have got quite a lot of fixed costs that they essentially just can't get out at this point in time. If they've still got these fixed costs that they're having to outlay for, and they've got zero income coming in or minuscule income coming in, then I mean, there's the only thing that businesses can do at that point is try and get even leaner by having to lay people off and this and that, and that's where I think especially that you see the difference, as you say, the people who moan, you see the difference in those who are looking at businesses that are saying, right, okay, we're able to keep on X amount, but we're having to lay off this amount, and they could be keeping on 85% of their workforce, but they're having to lay off 15%, and nobody cares about that 85% that they're keeping on, but they'll grime up about, oh, I can't believe you're letting that 15% go. And then the people are going, well, where are they being paid from? I mean, one of the big operators, amusement park operators in Scotland, we shall say, laid off a load of their staff. I think it was 124, and they own a hotel as well, which me and one of the other LBG colleagues went into for a meeting. We sat down, guy came over to us and said,
go, we're shot.
Basically said, by the way, you don't need to go. 70 of us have just been laid off. So that's nearly 200 staff, right? But there's a big outcry on your social media and things like that. Yeah, that's fine. But then you look at that and go, what do they want paid in? Tokens? Where are they getting paid? This was before the whole 80% thing came out.
Yeah, I know.
This was prior to that.
Some people moved very quickly and they had to possibly.
Yeah.
But if you think, I think there's a mechanism, don't quote me, that they can reverse situations as long as the person it's the person who changed jobs on the 28th of February.
Yeah.
That I feel sorry for.
I've seen that with the gov websites.
There must be hundreds of them across the country.
Yeah.
And what are these poor people doing?
They're screwed.
I know 2 people that moved from a perfectly good job to better themselves to another job, and suddenly, because their start date was, or their end date in the other job was the 28th of March, and their start date was the 28th of February, and the first day was the 1st of March, they're closed.
They're not on the payroll with that business, they're not on everything.
And there's no appeal process.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a business that I'm working on at the moment. I'm trying to help who, because their name wasn't on the lease of the property, the rented property they've got, on the 17th of March, despite them being in it for nearly a year, they've got the lease, they've got everything, they're unfortunately not even in the country to be able to fix the rates thing to change it to their name, because they weren't in the property when it came out last year. They tried to fix it in August to get on as the registered owner or the registered occupier of that premises. Seemingly hasn't worked. Because they're not on it at the 17th of March, they don't get the 10 grand.
Yeah.
Now they're in the property, they're paying the rent.
Yeah.
They are the business.
They've not had the first rateable
The
value thing
government's
out yet.
intention is that they should get the money to stay alive.
Yeah.
But because of a bit of red tape that says, even though they aren't the right people in the right place deserving of the money, and that's what I'm talking about when you get to the jobs worth situation, you get to people who, and you need to find a way around about that. You need to encourage the right decision makers to realise that this is a management issue.
Yeah.
This is why you have managers. Managers manage, and not everything is in a box that you can say, oh, right, I need that box today.
Yeah.
Sometimes the box is grey, and you're not sure which boxes to come from. That's the talent of management that says, right, this is not, it's not to the letter of the law, but it's to the ethos and the intention of the programme.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to get people to do that, because they talk about precedent, they talk about they do it for you, we have to do it for everybody. And damn right you should, if it's the same situation.
100%.
Because those £10,000 or £25,000 that are sitting there in the government's kitty, if that doesn't get to a business to help it stay alive and keep those people employed, then surely the whole thing's a farm.
Oh yeah.
But there are some people that won't look at it that way. They'll just look at it and say, you've not ticked the box, it's a 4, it's not a 5. And it just becomes a big issue. But this is the planet resetting itself, Andrew. You should be happy. I think this is seriously. You think there's no planes in the sky, there's no cars on the road.
Yeah.
And they sell oil for loving their money.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, in Darwin's theory of evolution, it's a terrible thing to say, but it is reality. It's actually cleansing the human race, because we've been bad. We've been nasty to the planet. The planet's having its own back, I think.
I have seen a lot of that for sure. My only worry is that the planet's all green and well, and then we've got Mad Max running about.
There is a tipping point. There is a tipping point, and I don't want to get there.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to die. I hate the idea of it.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Because it's almost a lottery. It's like playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're walking along the street. That person might not be there tomorrow. It's really as bad as that. And a lot of them are my friends and contemporaries, because I'm in that age group or thereabouts.
Here's the $1 million question then in that case. With a slight caveat, when do you think that businesses may get back to normal? And what do you think it will look like when they do? Do you think there will be restrictions in place from a health and hygiene standpoint? Or do you think it will be a certain date, however long it may be, and then it's a case of, right, okay, back to normality? Or will it be reduced hours or so on?
Well, I'll kind of turn that round a wee bit, and on the basis that, yes, valid question, I probably have my own thoughts on it, and it's not beyond the wit of man that I sit and I lie in bed at night thinking, when will we get back to normal? Try to work through the different scenarios that with my experience, that might get us back there. But we've got some immediate decisions to make that are pluses and minuses. Scotland has got a soft fruit and agricultural base that in the next 4 to 6 to 8 weeks is facing an almighty challenge, because if we don't pick that fruit, we don't pick those potatoes, they're gone forever. And that's people's livelihoods in their entirety. So the idea is, the thought process, going through all the scenarios. One of them was if we could find the people who'd had the virus and came out the other side of it, who are not employed doing anything, would they be able to go and pick the fruit? Because they can be next to each other. They don't. If truth be known, and the scientists are right that you can't catch the price, and if you've had it, you had it. Could they be sent? Some kind of movement to move these people and go, right, you've had it. You 100 people have had it. Would you like to volunteer and be paid for it to go and help Joe Bloggs, the farmer up in Perthshire, to pick his raspberries and strawberries, because otherwise they won't get to the supermarkets. Do you know what I mean? And I love strawberries and raspberries. I mean, we've got them down the Clyde side, and if there's nobody there to pick them, they'll rot in the ground. The other thing is, obviously, the other thing is, all these people that are sitting at home, who half of them would probably out in their gardens, planting new plants, and all those plants are already sitting there in the garden centres. And the big, greenhouses that are growing the tiny wee pots that you put in and they turn into massive trees. They're all sitting there. All these people invested hundreds of thousands of pounds in that stuff. And there's nobody to buy it because there's nobody to go and get it. So I think the government needs to take a kind of step back and have a look and say, right, we've got a time frame of about 2 weeks to 3 weeks here, no more than that. Is there some way we can identify people who are on furlough or self-employed but not working, who've had the COVID-19 virus, because there's 140,000 been diagnosed now that's having it. I try and avoid those things.
Me too.
Statistical bad news. So, but is there any way that those people can be employed to get something done now, which is going to save a situation? Coming out the other end of it, I don't see any light in the tunnel before the end of September. And I think the winter will be a regeneration of businesses that have survived, getting back on their feet, people like yourself that have got a vision and know how it needs to be done. And the interaction that we're doing at the moment during this downtime, it's not a lockdown as far as I'm concerned, it's just downtime. And during that downtime, if you use it advisedly and you get the right help and the right stimulation, such as what we are doing today, that can only be good things. So you could be absolutely on your march, ready, set, go, when somebody says, right, we don't need to socially avoid each other anymore, we can get back on cars. The good side is, these things are going to help. I don't think there'll be half the amount of business travel in the next 5 years as there was in the last 5 years, because people
based on the working from home.
The platforms are there. I wish I had taken out some shares in Zoom back in the day. They've gone mental.
Everybody does now.
Well, exactly. So, and I think there'll be less travel, there'll be less car show. Forward, there will be. I think the actual whole business strategy will eventually, because of the cost cutting we've done at the moment and the kind of conversation you're having now, there'll be a lot more of that. People will feel a lot more comfortable with it. There might be a period where it goes bonkers the other way, where everybody wants to go out and have a coffee and network in a hotel or like what we do. But the more I come in with somebody says, well, why am I spending all this money? What if the shit hits the fan again? Why won't we use the technology we have, the speed of Wi-Fi that we're getting to these days, the 5G, all of that sort of stuff, and say, right, let's economise. Let's not burn the planet up at 100 miles an hour. Let's use what we've invented, which is a good thing, to minimise people flying from London to New York to have a 5-hour meeting, have a party, a few beers, do all sorts of other things, and then fly back the next day. Why do that when you can, 25 of you, 20 of you, 15 of you, can have a proper meeting, proper chaired meeting on a platform like this, and not lose anything out of it, really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, my son-in-law and I, a few guys, we've organised a quiz which we have once a week on a Thursday night, night. And the other thing we're doing is we're all going on and playing poker together on a poker platform.
Yeah.
For a laugh, and it's money, it's real money, but it's a laugh. So we'll find other things to do that are productive without having to get out your front door.
Yeah.
But again, on your side, still has to be a lot of exercise to do. But maybe we'll have more time to do that if we're not flying to New York or London or sitting in Manchester. Maybe we'll have more time to put into our health. We should. Adapt
and overcome, as they say.
A kind of round the corner answer to the question, but I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I think everybody is as well, to be fair. And in terms of getting out the other end of it in that case, then, what do you think? Obviously, there's been a massive budget given for this in order for helping businesses continue and helping the economy somewhat at least stay relatively stable or grow in any sense. What do you think it's going to be looking like for a potential payback for the money that has had to be basically dumped into the economy at this time? Do you think it's going to be a case of maybe upping taxation, or what's your kind of thought process on that?
I think the money will have to come from several areas, because as a country, we're a service-based country, we're not particularly productive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having to buy ventilators from abroad, so albeit there are a lot of companies turning their production and manufacture of these things. But if you see, Mr. Trump said they've now got 40,000 ventilators, which is 8 times what we've got, or whatever the sum was.
Yeah.
And he bought them from Putin.
Right. Yeah, very strange.
And Putin goes online and says, this is a humanitarian aid package for the USA.
All right, okay.
Always good for the PR stunt.
Yeah.
What a way of putting it, isn't it?
I'm sure he'll get.
A third world country.
Exactly, aye. I'm sure he'll get re-elected time and time again for that, regardless.
He's a clever man, absolutely. He's surrounded by clever people, which is what I've always tried to do in business. I always employ people that are more clever than myself.
Exactly.
So I think there will be some infrastructure changes. I mean, the budget that was announced recently had some significant spend in infrastructure, and it's all very well connecting the towns in the north, and it's all very well Scotland, whether it's road infrastructure. We do certainly need a lot of rail infrastructure investments. There has to be money coming from somewhere. You have to pay the piper. But remember, all these, not so much the grants and things like that, although I'm not sure how they're treating that as income, but the 80% or 2,500, that's all taxable. So insurance, national insurance and tax is going to come off of that.
Yeah,
remember.
That's true.
The government are going to get some of that money back. It's like VAT. It's like the government giving you a £3,500 grant to buy, a ULEV grant to buy an electric car.
Yeah.
An average electric car is somewhere between £35,000 and £100,000. The VAT element of that is several times what that grant is.
Yeah.
So,
and that,
every time you get an reaction, you've got an equal and positive, not bigger reaction.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of very unsure about as well. Is that they're providing this 80%, right? That's 80%. But that's 80% of the employee's wage, including they're paying the pension, auto enrollment contributions, and the national insurance contribution, right? So that's within that 80%. The only flip side of that that is beneficial for them, obviously, is that as an employer, you're still paying, or the employee is still paying the tax on that. So, for instance, as an employer, you're still having to submit a tax return of £500 or £1,000 or whatever it is per month for your employees' wages.
PAYE is coming off right away.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody that, say, at the 28th of February had earned 50 grand, for the sake of argument, and your monthly salary was £4,300, £2,500, you'll still be paying 40% tax on that additional bit. So, because it's still within the tax year ending the 6th of April.
Mm-hmm.
So that March payment will incur tax, as will the April and June payment, but in a new tax year.
Yeah.
So you'll be back to starting point. You won't get.
That's true. You'll be 40% at that point. Aye, timing.
PAYE have, because if you were on a 50 grand salary a year, you're already, and you had a car, for example, or other benefits, you're already a higher rate taxpayer.
Yeah.
If the government's only going to pay you £2,500, all up for April, then you're not a high. So everybody's tax calculation
will change drastically.
Put in place because they'll have assumed that maybe a high paid taxpayer. That'll need to be recalculated. So there is all sorts of differences. I mean, the 6th of April is also the new tax year, which is 4 times. So if you'll already have had if you're a PAYE, you'll have had your intended tax code for next year, which will assume payment, underpayment. The fortunate thing is when you go to a month one, week one basis, a lot of that issue disappears because you only get taxed on the income you get on a pro rata basis. Your whole tax code is divided up into 12, and you're allowed to earn the first bit of that at zero. Then you've got your 20% band and 19% you're in Scotland. So there's a lot of complications in it. It's not going to be easy. The money is going to have to come from productivity. It's going to have to come from maybe less expenses by not travelling all around the country, doing more things online, being smarter, saving money. It's not going to come off the trees. It's not going to be reinvented. We are going to come out of this crisis, as are most other countries, where a very, very negative balance of payments is going to be horrendous. But it's a fiction money, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What you think
I mean,
about that?
the easiest thing to do is look at America's Federal Reserve. Where's that coming from?
Print more.
You know, where is that coming from? You know what I mean? That one of the good recommendations I would give to, maybe you've already seen it yourself, but even to the listeners as well, is Ray Dalio does a great. It's actually a YouTube clip. It goes on. He's got a great book called Principles, which he's released the past couple of years. But Ray Dalio is a massive hedge fund manager, and he was an owner of a company called Blackwater.
Blackwater, I think I've heard of.
I think it's that, and they were a huge hedge fund. But he breaks down how the economy actually works and how by printing money isn't the answer for a lot of the problems, and how the financial crisis happened and things like that. It breaks it down into very layman's terms that even somebody like me could understand it over the course of about 40 minutes on a YouTube video, and it's brilliant. So if anybody's listening to this, Ray Dalio, Dalio. I'll send you the link for the YouTube video, but it's absolutely brilliant. And the guy's worth 30 billion. He's a very, very smart individual, but his book Principles is how he adapted the principles for his own success in business and in life. And there's some really eye-opening stuff in there that you would think wouldn't be of any benefit, but then you realise over time how it is, you know. Just a wee last thing for yourself, Andy. How would people find you if they were looking to get in contact with yourself?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn as Andy Aird. I'm www.conciergevehiclesolutions.com. All my contact details are on LinkedIn, even my phone number. I'm on the FSB website with my phone number as regional chair for Scotland. Don't want to give it out just now because it's not the person to everybody, but if you want to find me, Facebook for Concierge Vehicle Solutions, Facebook through Lanarkshire Business Group. All of these things are really important.
What I'll do as well is I'll pop Andy your details in the description as well. So if anybody is looking for you for your services or anything, they'll be able to contact you as well for that.
I can help. It's not a problem. I'm delighted helping other people. it's one of my the biggest things in my life these days is helping other people, and it doesn't need to be for reward.
Yeah.
It's a bit selfish that way. You get a reward for yourself, which is always good.
It's always a good thing.
To admit that, you have to admit that you're getting something out of it, even if it's only pleasure. Not enough going around, Andrew.
You're right about that, mate. But no, listen, thank you very much, Andy. I appreciate you obviously coming on today and discussing your viewpoints as well with it. So it's good to hear somebody else's understanding that is kind of in the trenches with it quite a bit as well. And I'm sure obviously it's going to add quite a lot of value for the listeners and the subscribers.
I hope so, and they know where to get me if they want me. And stay safe, big chap, and we'll no doubt talk again very soon.
Brilliant. You too, Andy. Cheers. I'm just gonna stop sharing this just now.